first of all, I would like to talk in Tongan to my audience before I will ask you questions in English. Is that okay with you?
That's fine. Just you guide me as to when you're ready. Thank
Okay,
you.
that's fantastic. Ko Brent Johnson ni ko e host ia kau tafa'aki pule'angaa ko The Global Freedom Report. Pea mo e polokalama talk show o iloa ia I Amerika ko The Voice of Freedom. Pea ko e leo pe ko leo o tau ataina. O ke kai pe whaki ke ngatai ka ko Brent ko tale kita ia ai Freedom Bound International, a Common Law Service Centre ke a ko ia ia kakai ki e nau ngahi totonu. Brent is somehow a modern day freedom fighter. Kai ke te o atu ka te ki mautolu ai uhinga ko ia o lava mai ai matapule Amerika ko ni ki he polokalama ko ni. Ko uhi ko ne pehe ko osko toa ne feinga I Tonga pea feinga I he ngahi miti ako toa I Tonga pea ko ne pehe ke lava mai ka te tautolu ki he Radio TV Tonga International o mai ki ai a hono mamahi. Pea pehe foki ki he ene kau whalau ko ia pea mei Amerika. Te o atu ka te ki mautolo ai pui toa, I he me ko ia ahatahaon no wanoa wawa, ai a koe me pe ia o e taoni, na e whakaata mai ai e pule'angaa tonga ke puna atu ha whakapuna private ki Tonga ke whakafoki mai ai ai kau ngawe e tokotolu ai The Voice of Freedom. Ko Brent Johnson pea mo e toko ua kehe. Hiri hono tari e Tonga, na e puna atu leva ai wakapuna, pea me he mala e wakapuna o Hughes McCoy Aviation, pea tu uta ki ke utu I Hawaii, kai tok whalau me I Hawaii ki Tonga. Nai mahino ai hiri ko ia ai utu te nautari ai ia hoa e ua wha. Pea nau toki puna hanga tonu leva pea mei Hawaii ki vavau o pika apu ai tokotolu ko eni ai ko kawai e matapule ko ni o mea mai I he polokalama o e whiawhini pea mo e toko ua kehe. Lolotonga te uteu ko ia ke puna e wakapuna ki Tonga hiri ene uto ko ia I Hawaii, ne mauai e Hughes ko McCoy Aviation ia, ha whitu utaki pia mehe International Flight Registry o whakahange kua ta ofiange e he pule'angaa tonga, ai waka ko ia na nau os whakaata ke puna hifo ki Tonga. Na I kai whoki ke toi o atu e Tonga ha uhinga ki he nau kanseri atu ko ia ai waka na nau whakaata. Ne lahi e lau lea he kanseri ko eni pia ne ngau e leva ai waa ko ia o e whewhalau aki o whakatala noa ki he waa o e whewhalau aki a Tonga piko civil aviation ko ia a Tonga pia hiri hanga hi talatala noa na toi approved mai leva e Tonga ke tari ke puna atu ai wakapuna ko ni mei Hawaii ki Tonga pia hiri hono tari ko ia pia toi ta ofi atu ko hono tu o wā ia hiri hono tari ko ia te uteu ke whakahoko ai puna pia toi ta ofi atu foki. Kaike, na toi whai pe a ngahi whetala noa aki ai he hiri kono tawhi atu he ko kamata ke ngā uta ngahi tafa'aki kotoa pea toi approved ko hono tu o toluia. Again, no reason was given. No reason was given. Nai feinga leva ai kautaha aviation ke whetu utake ki he ene awhio koe whakamatala ni koe ai matapule koe ni pea na e whakaha ke te ki nau tolu ne pehe e ene awhio pe oku iai hataha e hifo mai pea mihi wakapuna koe ni. Koe tari ki ai I kai. Koe puna mai pe ai waka ke piki apu ai uta pe koe kāgoi pa moe kaupā sese koe ni e tokotolu pea me iwa mao. Pea nai whakahokoangi ke a te ki nau tolu nai pehe e ene a whio te ulawa tia I herea whakapilitania, then he saw no reason why they should not be allowed to leave. Lolotonga ko ia ai te uteu ke puna atu ai waka pia mei Hawaii ki Tonga, kua toi mau e he kautaha aviation I Hawaii, ha whetu utaki pia me he International Flight Registry, kua nau toi mau ha whetu utaki me he Civil Aviation a Tonga, this time ne tala noa whakataha lewa a ngahi kautaha e tolu, ai a koe Civil Aviation a Tonga, Hughes McCoy Aviation, pea mo International Flight Registry. Ko e toko taha ko ia na e whetu utaki mai pea mehe Civil Aviation a Tonga na ane identify mai ia ko e Minister mo ui. Pea ko e ne lea na e pehe I don't give a god damn what the king says. E ikai ke whakaata ha wakapuna pea mei Amerika ke tō ota ki Tonga Pea koe kau pāsese ko eni e ikai ke ngofua ke mawahe pea mei tongani. Na e tu oua, hono whehu ia tu ai hingoa ko ia o minister mo ui, pea mo refused pe ai tohotaha ko ni pea meihe civil aviation a tonga ke omai a hono hingoa. Ko wiki ake ni hono fito, pea ko nau feinga he tapakotoa pe e ala lava ke nau foki ai ki ho nau whanua ko Amerika. Ka ko ikai pe hatari, pea me he pule'angaa tonga. Ko ikai ke nau toe loto ke whakatala noa mai ki a Brent Johnson o whakatatau ki he lau koia a Brent Johnson. Na iai ai kau ngā mea o Brent Johnson o kune iloi ai minister mo ui toke tā saia piukala. Aia na eke e piukala ai whika telefoni koia o Brent Johnson pea na oange ki ai whika, but then ne toi whakahange e toke tā saia piukala ki hono kau ngā mea ko ta ofi mai e ke paremia ke oa e whetu utaki ki a Brent Johnson. Na nau whakatala noa leva ki a teni seniale i he wike ua koni ko osi pena e whakahange he a teni seniale tene whaka osi hane ripoti ki he minister ki muri ka kua uia ki he ahoni o te ki ai ke tari mai ha tari pea me a teni seniale. Na e mao whoki pea moi toi whetu utaki ki he konsela ki tonga ki he konsela a tonga i fisi pea na nau talamai mahalo koi uhinga o ta ofia ki nau tolu ko ikai ke nau huhu malui a Brent Johnson pa mo ne kau wholau. Pea ui ai isiu e ko eni ko isiu private ai potungai mo ui pea mo civil aviation. Ne whetu utaki leva e ka ai tokotolu ko eni Brent Johnson pea mohono kau ngawe kau pasese ko eni i Amerika ki he konsela tonga ko ia i San Francisco. Pea na elohi aki ki nau tolu e office konsela tonga i Amerika o pe he ko uhinga o ta ofia ki nau tolu he ku nau ova i tonga pea ku tāpuni pea mo kau whanonga, kau whanua. Pehe e Brent o ku loi au pito ai whamatala ko ia. Toi pehe foki e he kāinga ko ia o Brent i Amerika o ku lohi aki ki nau tolu e he ofisi pia ke ngatai ka aku ne whaakai kaila ki a te ki nau tolu. Kai ke he, ko e konga e ko ku a umai ko ki ai i he taimini pia ko e nau last resort in, I think ko e nau feinga ke whakatala noa mai ka te tau tolu pia ko e haha whainga tokoni e whakahoko. Ko whaampe ki mua pia au foki ki a Brent i he taimini before I come back to you Brent o ko whaamu pe ke mo mea e nei osweta utaki ki he eike pare mea minister mo ui pa pehe foki ki he civil aviation kana ikai ke hatari mai. Absolutely nothing. Kai ke he te ufoki mai au kia te koe Brent Johnson, welcome to the show. And Brent, there are three of you who stuck in Tonga. One of you holds United States citizenship, another person who holds a Tongan and US citizenship, and another one who holds a New Zealand and Tongan passport, and also a current visa to the US. So 2 Americans and 1 Commonwealth citizen. Yes. You said that under the international law, this constitutes you 3 being held hostage and kidnapped. First of all, tell me, why do you think you have been held hostage and kidnapped by Tonga?
Thank you, Setita. And just before I answer that, I'd like to just briefly make a general comment about Tonga. I have lived in Tonga for 10 years. I am married to a Tongan. Okay, I love Tonga. I love the Tongan people. What we are discussing this evening, okay, is not about hurting Tonga in any way. To the contrary, okay, I have done what I can in my time here to help Tonga and do good things for Tongans. So I love Tonga. I'm very unhappy about the set of circumstances that have come about. I just don't want anyone to think that I'm bashing Tonga, because I am not. Okay, I would love to have Tonga come back from the 2 years of lockdowns and have their full tourism trade and everything going very, very healthy. Nothing here diminishes that. Now, having said that, we have been put in a position where, and it's already cost us several $100,000 US what the Tonga government has done. And we've been put in a position where we have been clearly told that we cannot leave without taking the medical device, the experimental jab. Now, I am by profession an investigator, and I actually prepared and gave to the Prime Minister and to the governor of Vavau a 60-page dossier on COVID and the jab, just so that they could have more information to work with, so they could make the best decisions with respect to the Tongan people. I know from my research that the risks involved with taking the jab far outweigh any possible benefit. I also know that under the Geneva Conventions and under international law, okay, no one can be compelled to take this jab without their consent, their direct consent. And I do not give my consent, and neither do the other two people in my group. Because we have not given our consent for them to give us this jab, which we consider to be poisonous, and we also consider it to be very ungodly. Because of that, we have been prohibited from leaving Tonga. Now, nothing in what we were planning to do threatened to endanger anybody. Okay, no one was getting off the plane, so no one could bring any disease or anything into the islands. Okay, and all that we were doing is getting a plane, getting on it, getting our cargo, and leaving. Okay, I have a medical condition that cannot be addressed here in the States. Okay, and my producer also has a medical condition. We are both elderly. Okay, and again, cannot be addressed here in the States. I also have very important business that I need to attend to, and I have to get back there for that. So that's what's motivated us to leave. And we've just simply been told, no, you can't leave. And nobody has been willing to talk to us. We have reached out, we have tried. Okay, I sent the Minister of Health 2 texts with very, very respectful greetings after he spoke with my friend, okay, and he got my number. Okay, so I then texted him and I said, he was in Vavau at the time, and I'm in Vavau. I said, I would be happy to sit down with you and discuss this matter. Nothing. We have had senators, congressmen, assemblymen in the States calling Tongan offices. One assemblyman called 40 different Tongan office numbers, official ministry numbers. Nobody is answering the phone to talk to these people. Nobody has been willing to come out and make any gesture to resolution. So essentially, we're not prisoners in the sense that we can go anywhere in Vavau that we want, but we cannot leave Vavau. And that makes us hostages under international law. That means we are kidnapped. We are being held against our will.
Wow. Why do you think the Tongan government do not allow you to leave Tonga? Why do you think it is? Is that just because of the jab?
Everything I've been looking at suggests that is what it is. I just received an email message from the Tongan High Commissioner's office in London. And he said that he made an inquiry on our behalf, and here are the results of that inquiry. And then one of the things he said was that you cannot leave without taking the jab. That's what he said. Now, there are other factors. They're not evidence per se. They're more circumstantial evidence, but there are other factors. For example, the Minister of Health, up to about 1 or 2 months ago, was an executive board member of the World Health Organization, which in my mind represents a conflict of interest between what's good for the Tongan people and what's good for the pharmaceutical companies. And again, I'm not saying he did this. He says he didn't do it. At least he said that to my friend who sat down with him. but somebody identified himself as the Minister of Health. And that person said, we are not going to let these people leave. Now, that's not the Minister of Civil Aviation. It's not the Minister of Foreign Affairs. It's the Minister of Health. So what am I to think but that this whole matter relates to the jab? We haven't done anything wrong. We have, we're not criminals. We don't have a record or anything like that. If to the contrary, I mean, during the aftermath of the volcano, when most people in New Zealand and elsewhere thought that everyone in Tonga was dead, I had the only working satellite phone on the island. I made it available to people, no charge, just made it available to everybody, including Minister of Health that needed to call Tonga about emergency matters for their patients. I literally put the island in touch with their families so that people would know that they were alive. I did that out of love for these people. I did that, just out of my heart. Okay, so we haven't done anything bad here. We just need to go back to the US for a time.
If you
That's all
haven't
this
done
is.
anything, if you haven't done anything bad in Tonga, have you done anything illegal in Tonga?
No, no.
I understand that you said that you have spent $700,000 so far. Is that correct?
No. It's probably in the neighborhood of 400,000 at this point, 300,000 or 400,000.
That is huge. 400,000.
Yeah, well, getting a private plane to come get us was very, very costly. Especially in this part of the world. Tonga is so isolated, which is one of the blessings of it. But getting a plane out here was very expensive. And when they told the plane they couldn't come, we still had to pay it.
Wow.
We didn't get out of that.
So you also said that 2 of your crew members have health conditions that require to be treated back in the United States of America, and Tonga is preventing you from going to receive that treatment. How do you feel about that?
I feel very much that I'm being abused by the Tongan government. Let me say this. I'm not saying the Tongan government as a whole. Okay, not at all. Okay, I have a tremendous amount of respect for the king. Okay, I've spoken through a liaison with the Speaker of Parliament, who seems like a very, very good man, and looked into this and couldn't get any information either. But I think there are some people, Lord Whakawhawhanoa, there are some people in the government who, for whatever reason, have taken it upon themselves to make essentially dictatorial decisions about our lives, and I don't take that well at all. I mean, I'm very angry. I'm very angry and I'm very upset about that. I don't know what to do except to go on the air and shows like this and try and bring the attention to enough contact the consulates and the embassies, and they contact the people in Tonga and say, what are you doing? I believe this is all going to hurt tourism when they want to open up for tourism. Who would want to travel on a vacation to Tonga if they're not sure they can leave when they're ready to leave? These are things, I never wanted this kind of stuff to happen. This has turned into an international incident, and there's no reason for it. I believe it has to be 1 or 2 people in the government who, for whatever reason, are trying to show their muscle, or show that, we're big people and we can do this. Because I can't imagine any other reason for this. The Hughes McCoy people, they've been flying all over the world for 24 years. They said they've never encountered anything like this ever. So it makes no sense at all, except the way I suggested, that some 1 or 2 people have a vested interest, whether it's the health minister because of his affiliation with the WHO. There have been reports that for every jab that is given, the government gets between $10,000 and $11,000 US. for every jab given. Now, I
Brent?
don't know for a fact that that's true, but I've heard those reports, and I know that there have been true reports of that sort in other countries, including the United States. And if that is true, that creates another conflict of interest, another vested interest in getting people the jab. But honestly, I cannot give you a common sense answer because there is none. This is not a commonsensical situation.
Okay, I actually tried to reach out to all these people in the government, to the Prime Minister, to the Minister of Health, and also to Civil Aviation, but no luck. No answer. I sent them an email. I sent them a Facebook Messenger. I text on their mobile phones. Apparently, I received nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Welcome to my world. You know, this is what has been going on. And I did 2 weeks ago, I spoke with the Attorney General. That is the only official who is actually I have been able to speak with. And she didn't give me much information, but what she did say was that, and this is about 2 weeks ago, she said the following week, she was going to give her report of her investigation to the Minister of Foreign Affairs. Now, I happen to know, because I read it in one of the news articles, that week, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister took off on a 2-week trip to Rwanda and Portugal, and I believe they are still in Portugal or maybe in London now, so they are not here. But to my knowledge, nothing has come of whatever the Attorney General was going to do. And that's the extent of the contact I've been able to make directly with anyone in the Tonga, in the Tongan government. Just to let you know, I am the one who has the health condition. I have a chronic problem where I have a very thin lining in the membrane of my stomach. And all the stress from this has actually made it worse and worse. But I can eat something, anything, and suddenly I have horrible, horrible burning pain. It goes away after a while, but it's getting worse. I have had various procedures done in Tongatapu. I've spoken with the head specialist, and he has told me we cannot, what you have, we cannot address this. This is not something that we can do. So, concern for me because it is getting worse. My producer, who is with me here, she also has recovered from cancer. Okay, so she's not currently having any problems or anything, but she needs to have regular treatment. Okay, and so that's the health thing. It's not like we're in the process of dying or anything. We're not trying to make that argument. Okay, but I do have a serious condition, and it is getting worse. And so I just wanted you to understand what that was about.
Well, we've got 5 more minutes, but how would you describe your experience in dealing with the Tongan Authority?
Okay, one thing I would like is I'd like to give out the contact information for the Tongan consulate in Auckland. And I would love for people to contact them and ask them about this situation and tell them that they're concerned about this situation. They want something done about this situation. That helps bring pressure on the Tonga government. That would really be extremely helpful for everybody. I want you all to remember that there is a Commonwealth citizen among us who is also being prevented from leaving. And this is not just leaving Tonga, this is leaving Vavau. We are basically isolated on this one island because you can't go anywhere else without taking the jab. And that phone number, if I may, okay, for the consulate in Auckland, it's 9-624-6303. I'll give it again, 9-624-6303. I also have an email address, which is saho, SAHO, at extra, that's XTRA, saho at extra, no E in that, extra, xtra.co.nz, and 96303. And if you can call, if you can make some noise, because we really do need help. This has been going on now for almost 8 weeks. And, you know, in addition to the realities of this, this is also emotionally tremendously stressful to us. It is really hurting us deeply. And frankly, we don't deserve that. We haven't done anything to deserve that. So please help us in any way that you can to go back to the States. Well, I very much appreciate that. And I appreciate all of you who are watching this show tonight. And will it be possible for me to get a link to the archived version of the show so that other people who haven't had the opportunity to watch live would get a chance to watch it?
Yes, absolutely. We will send it to you straight after the program. Mr. Johnson, thank you once again for coming on our show, and I wish you good luck.